Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Shibboleth Monday night webinar. This webinar is all about food combining. So last night's webinar was the lifestyle overview. If you have not watched the lifestyle overview, you can watch tonight, totally fine. But please go back and watch tomorrow night. That's like the aerial view. I'm an FAA certified drone pilot. If I shot my drone up into the air to get an overview of the property, then I would see a better view. That was last night's webinar. So if you have not watched last night's webinar, please go ahead and check it out. It's very important. In fact, that one is important and this one is super important. The rest of the webinars that we're going to do for the rest of the week, those are all about learning how to use the features on the website. And I will also take you through some exercises and filling out a worksheet and coming up with your favorite lean proteins and so forth. So welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. If you are on your phone or you're on a computer, go ahead and see where your chat button is. Click where the chat button is, and then where it says all panelists, click there and then choose all panelists and attendees. After you have done that little bit of housekeeping, please say hello, where you're from, and if you're brand new or here for a refresh. I'd also love to know if you had a perfect day today to get your new lifestyle started. If you are on Facebook, please say hello to me. Give me some hearts on Facebook. Let me know you're there. And also, there's a share button in that bottom left-hand corner. I would absolutely love for you to click that share button for me on Facebook. If you're finding us and you're wondering, what is this? I don't know what this lady's talking about. This is the Shibboleth Lifestyle. If you would like to get a membership, it is only $99 for a year. That's $1.90 or $1.91 per week to change your life and have access to all of the awesome things that you get as part of your membership. That includes mentor appointments as often as you need, the education that you need, and the food library, recipe library, and restaurant guide. This thing can change your life if you'll let it. So you would just go to shibbolethdeals.com, shibbolethdeals.com. And then write in the name of the person that referred you to Shibboleth. If it was Google or Facebook, you can write that in. But if it was an actual person, please write in their name. So thank you for everybody that's joined me on Facebook. Please say hello when you have a chance. And in the Zoom room here, Gina, welcome, restarting. I had somebody in class in Kennesaw tonight, also restarting. Hey, Connie Simpson, Cape Coral, Florida. Yes, a perfect day with a headache to match. Uh-oh, they won't last long. They won't last long. And not everybody has them, but some do. So I'm sorry you had that. It's detoxing, just getting rid of all the things that we don't need. Hey, CC from Lakeland, Florida, new. I'm trying to gather the food to have a perfect day. Okay, yep, you can do it. You can even go to Chick-fil-A if you need to and have a perfect day there. So we can do this from absolutely anywhere. Sharon, Lakeland, Florida, day one, perfect, awesome. Watching videos second time to better understand. So smart, Sharon, awesome. Hey, Wendy Fincher, a refresher, awesome. Glad that you're here from Chatsworth. Jeanette Hall, hey, Jeanette. And Jeanette, I just saw you in class, right? You were the one that was in the store shopping. So I'm glad that you are here with us. So we're going to, hey, Polly's in the Zoom room with us tonight. Awesome. I'm glad you're here. Okay, well, please excuse me. My hair is up, no earrings on, no jewelry. That's because I did stretching exercise. Y'all, stretching is actually pretty good for you. From 5 to 5:30. Then I went over to the Shibby shop and taught class, and now I'm here. And I'm going to do some more exercise later. But I do want you to know, 2 years. It's taken me 2 years to even want to do any exercise. And now all of a sudden I want to do exercise. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. Cece, I blew breakfast with 2 Lego waffles, but ate well the rest of the day once I learned more stuff. Yeah, I got you. Well, and once those Legos are gone, I just wouldn't buy them again. And they could also be holiday food too. Hey, Heidi, I'm glad you're here. That's awesome. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen with you. We're going to use a website tonight called the Fast Track, and you will have access to this. In fact, this link is already in the Fast Track. I'll show you where to find it in just at the end of tonight's webinar. I'll show you where to find it. And let me just explain to you how tonight is going to go. This one full hour is all about food combining, but it's also all about you hearing foods that go into these categories. Because one of the most important things that you can do this very first week is start making your lists of favorite lean proteins, favorite fibrous carbs, favorite energy carbs, favorite protein plus fats, and etc. You got to know what you like and have your favorites listed out so that when you look at a little combination line on the chart, you can say, oh, I can put something from category 1 with something from category 2 and have an excellent fat burning meal. Maybe I want a little more. Maybe I could put some category 6 superfood with that. And you would just be picking from your lists to make these meals, all right? And you can do it. So as we go through tonight, hey, Shirley Grant from Dalton, I see you on Facebook. Thank you for being there and thank you for saying hello. Thank you. Whenever we come to a new category, I am going to read through the list of foods. It's very important that I just kind of read them because hearing is going to help you start to familiarize yourself with that. Hey, Jean, or is it Jean? And then I'm going to go over the oils as a recap from last night. And then we're going to talk about condiments because condiments are those things that I didn't even talk about last night, but make our food taste like we expect it to taste. So we're going to talk about condiments and how to have yummy meals. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm actually going to hit the oils first. So just to recap the oils, one of the simple swaps that you're going to do in Shibboleth is you're just going to simply switch the oil that you use. So canola oil, vegetable oil, olive oil, and oils like that, all those other oils are long chain triglycerides, and they have a great propensity to be stored on your body as fat. I don't want that. I don't eat that anymore. So I use 100% MCT when appropriate. So MCT oil is a medium chain triglyceride. It has almost no propensity to be stored on your body as fat. This is why it's a good oil to use. So we highly suggest 100% MCT oil. Now, you don't have to buy anything from Shibboleth to live this lifestyle, but if you want to make your life easy and save yourself some time, energy, effort, and gas money driving around looking for it, you could just go to myshibboleth.com/shop and you can get some MCT oil. We actually have what we call the recipe starter kit. All that is MCT oil, ghee butter, and Carb Quick so that you can have that in your pantry because those are often the things that if you're looking at a recipe and you say, wait a minute, I want to make that. And then you look, oh, bummer, I don't have this. But if you go ahead and have those as the staples in your pantry, you'll have them. So we kind of call that a recipe starter kit. But we'll talk a little bit more about Carb Quick in a second. But the brand of MCT oil that we sell is called Zero Drag. Zero Drag. So, but you can buy it anywhere. It's just that it'd be quick from us. Coconut oil is also an oil that you can use. Keep in mind, it is 66% MCTs. It's not 100% MCTs. You can also use ghee butter, GHEE butter. All that is, it's butter, but it's been clarified, meaning all the milk solids have been pulled out of it. And so it's about 40% MCTs. And you can also use 0-calorie cooking spray. So here's how I make a choice. If I am cooking a lean protein, I use 100% MCT oil. If I am cooking a protein plus fat, I use 0-calorie cooking spray. The reason the difference is a protein plus fat already has fat in it. I don't need to add more. So that's when I use a 0-calorie cooking spray. But if I'm cooking a lean protein, adding a little bit of MCT is not going to hurt at all. Okay. In fact, it'll help. MCT in our world of Shibboleth And the reason I say that is because you got to forget anything you thought you knew about nutrition. All right. There's a lot of noise out there, and you might pick up one random thing from here and one random thing from here and try to put it together and really never get any results. So that's why you got to forget what you thought you knew about nutrition and just do this. That's the way that this works. Okay. By doing what the lifestyle suggests. So the MCT oil is just your simple swap for that. But we use it for 3 reasons: cooking, recipes, and making approved salad dressings. We do not take it as a supplement, make bulletproof coffee with it, or add it randomly to shakes. We just don't do that. That's not used. That's not used. That's not the best use of it for somebody who's wanting to burn body fat. All right. So those are the oils. Up to 1 tablespoon is your amount for a serving. You wouldn't want to go more than that. All right, let's have a look at condiments. So condiments are those things that make your food taste like you expect it to taste. But here's the interesting thing. Let's say we take a piece of chicken breast. If we do some Latin seasoning, we can make something taste like a Mexican meal. If we use barbecue, we get barbecue chicken. If we use some Italian seasoning, we can have some Italian chicken. So seasoning is important because you can simply take a chicken breast and make it taste however you want to with some condiments. So they're important. We got to know how to use them. But there are a lot of calories in condiments we need to be aware of. So we have a rule around condiments because lots of things can be used as condiments. But not all of them are going to be listed in the food library. All right. So we give you a rule about them. And this rule can give you the confidence to shop in the store without having to look everything up in the food library, because not everything that can be used as a condiment might be listed in the food library. And then you're kind of going, if you don't trust the rule, you might be wondering, oh, it's not in there. Well, it might not be in there because somebody hadn't asked us to put it in there. Our food library grows because members request things and we look at it and then we add it to the food library. But the condiment rule is simply this: 5, 2, and few. This is a sprinkling. 5, 2, and few. Now I'll explain what this means. 5, you don't want more than 5 grams of sugar in a serving if you're going to use something as a condiment. And you don't want more than 2 grams of fat per serving. Then the few part is we're not going to use more than 50 calories worth of condiments on a combined meal. We don't need condiments on meal replacements and things like that. Okay. This is typically for a combined meal. So there's a few little exceptions that are out there, but with using it on a meal replacement, but typically you don't. So condiments, the 5, 2, and few rule. I'm going to read these over and then I'm going to give you a practical application of it. So obviously you can use any 0-calorie condiment. You're getting flavor, but no calories. You can use 15-calorie or less spices and seasonings. That's often those little seasoning packets that you buy to make some chili or make some taco seasoned meat. Salt and pepper, salsa, reduced sugar ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, Kraft fat-free mayo. Now, keep in mind that all of the lists that I read tonight are tiny compared to what's in the food library. But in the beginning, you don't need thousands of foods. You need just a few to get you started so that you can have a good week. And we don't need to be overwhelmed with choices when there's so many choices on Shibboleth. We need to keep it simple in the beginning. Okay, so practical application of this condiment rule. I wanted some pizza sauce. I typically buy the Classico. See, there's the thing. Once you find out what you like, that's just what you start to buy. Well, I typically buy the Classico traditional pizza sauce. I went into Publix. I normally buy it at Kroger. I went into Publix to get this other cheese that Kroger doesn't carry. And when I went into Publix, I thought, oh, I need pizza sauce. Let me run to the back and pick up some Classico. I get back there to the pizza sauce area. They didn't have Classico. I'm like, darn. They had 6 other pizza sauces, but not Classico. So I thought, all right, I could stand here and type every one of those in, and they possibly not be in there because somebody might not have asked and all of that. Or I can just simply apply my rule. And that's what I did. It happened. This went by much faster just applying my rule. I turned all 6 jars of pizza sauce around on the shelf. I started scanning the sugar content. If it had more than 5 grams of sugar, I turned it around. It's out of the running. I don't even need to look at the fat content because it's out of the running. So after I did that, I then scanned the ones that were still there for the fat content. And if it had more than 2 grams of fat, I turned it around. It's out of the running. Out of the 6 that were on the shelf, two worked, and I just chose one and I bought it. And that's how I practically applied that while I was standing in the store. Now, if you're thinking, oh, how am I going to remember that rule? Well, we're looking for sugar and we're looking for fat. Just remember those. But the word sugar has 5 letters in it. Okay. So hopefully that'll help you remember that. And then we just don't want to use more than 50 calories worth of condiments on a meal. But think about this. You can have multiple condiments. You just don't want the total of them to go over 50 calories. You still want all the condiments that you're going to use to meet the 5 and 2 rule. You just don't want to use more than 50 calories worth of condiments. So let's say that you're making yourself a 96% lean ground beef hamburger and you want a slice of Borden fat-free cheese, and that's a condiment. You're using it as a condiment, then that would be 30 calories. Then let's say you want mustard. Mustard is 0 calories. You got 2 condiments there. You still have just the 30. And then most mustards 0 calories. I've seen some that are 5. And if that's the one you buy, you'd want to be aware of that. But then maybe you want some ketchup. You can put 20 more calories of ketchup on there and you can get multiple condiments on a meal. So that's how you would do that, okay? Polly says, after being on Shibboleth for 6 years, the main thing I'm learning is how to navigate the web pages more efficiently. Awesome. Thank you, Kim. Rules and formulas are a little hard to pull from my memory at this age. I try. She's 87, y'all. Polly, if you click where you're chatting right now and look where it says all panelists, click there, but then choose the option for all panelists and attendees, and everybody will be able to see what you type. Just a little housekeeping there, but that's awesome. Y'all, Polly is 87. She made a decision at 81 years old to change her life. Do you know at 81 years old, a lot of people give up and they don't think they can achieve their goals? And Polly is improving and elongating her health by trying to take care of it every single day. I am so proud of Polly. She's doing great. And honestly, I don't remember any other formulas, Polly, except the 5, 2, and few rule because it rhymes. Okay, let's go ahead and look at category 1 lean protein. If you'll notice, we've got some ounces listed here, 2 to 8 ounces. All right, I have never measured it. I use this as my protein hand, but if you're that measurer and you really want to know, and it's not a bad thing to measure to get a visual, because sometimes people find out they're not using as much protein as they could use. And so that helps them keep them satisfied from meal to meal. So if you want to measure, you can, but I just use my hand. This is my protein, my lean protein or my protein plus fat hand. 2 to 8 ounces. And if you really want to be serious about it, ladies, 6 is really where you should be. Guys could go up to 8. So it's up to 6 for ladies, up to 8 for guys. But like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. It's just under here and it fits and it works. Okay. Egg whites, fish, all fish, chicken breast, turkey breast. And as I'm reading these out, I'm hoping that you're making your lists. Okay. Everything that we do this week should be building your lists that you like. Turkey breast, pork tenderloin, boar's head turkey, boar's head chicken breast, boar's head London broil, low-fat cottage cheese, fat-free cottage cheese, Greek plain yogurt, Hebrew National 97% lean beef frank, and 96% lean ground meat. Now, we've tried to put a little variety of things on here, but please know there are hundreds of more items here in the lean protein category. I'm going to start by talking about this 96% lean ground meat. That could be chicken, turkey, beef, not just 96% lean or greater. That's a lean protein. Low fat and fat free cottage cheese are here. Full fat cottage cheese is actually on the lifestyle. It's just a protein plus fat, and you want to be aware of that. And then boar's head. The reason this specifically lists boar's head is because we just know it's a very lean meat, but there are a lot of approved deli meats. And if you want to know more than just the boar's head one, you can look those up in the food library. And I'm going to talk about pork tenderloin and then we're going to move on. Pork tenderloin. If you are using a pork tenderloin and you see visible fat on it, please trim that off. All right. Yes, Kendra. Yes, it will be. It's available on the website. And in the very end of this webinar, I'm going to show where to find it. Okay. It's got your pork tenderloin right here. All right. So I hope that you heard some things that you like. Now, this is, let's see, Heidi. So we could do 3 ounces of fat-free cottage cheese and 3 ounces of approved category 1 deli meat. Yes, yes, you can do that. Yep, totally fine. So this right here is saying that you can eat category 1 by itself. Remember last night when we were going over the 7 categories of food, I said that you could eat 5 of them alone. And obviously this is one of them, category 1 lean protein. So this is just saying you can have something from the lean protein category. You can cook it up in the appropriate oil, doctor it up with the right condiments, and you would have an excellent fat burning meal. Now I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. We have a brand new category here, category 2, fibrous carbs. Half a cup up to 1 cup. Now again, I really have never measured. This is one of the great things about Shibboleth. I don't have to measure. I'm not that person. But this is my fibrous carb hand. So it goes under here. If you are a measurer, half a cup is actually best in weight loss mode, okay? But you just put it under here, and then that's probably going to be about half a cup anyway. Okay, so half a cup up to a cup. This is just varying on people's hand sizes, and up to a cup would be more like maintenance. So just kind of keep that in mind. Less is always best when you are trying to get into a calorie deficit. All right, broccoli, asparagus, squash, okra, green leafy vegetables, spinach, cabbage, cucumbers, bell peppers, hot peppers, cauliflower, kraut, dill pickles, green beans. So all of these are category 2 fibrous carbs. So this right here is the heart of food combining. You pick something from category 1. You pick something from category 2. You cook it up in the appropriate oil. You doctor it up with the right condiments, and you will have an excellent fat burning meal. So let's just say that you picked some salmon and broccoli. Salmon and broccoli. If you wanted to make your fastest fat burning combination, which oil would you use? Okay, Calicia, when you go, Calicia on Facebook is asking, what is a vegetarian vegan option? What you're going to want to do is, after you've passed the test at the end of lap 2, the full food library will open up to you. Click on lean protein, and then there is a filter there for vegan, and there's a filter for vegetarian. I would click those separately to see my list, and I would pick my proteins from there. That's what you do, Calicia. Thank you for everybody that's with me here on Facebook. Awesome. Okay, yeah. Trina and Jackie, yep, MCT oil. MCT oil was the oil that you would use to make a category 1+2 that should be cooked up. That would be what you use to make it the fastest fat burning combination. All right, that'd be awesome. Okay, we're going to scroll down. And now we have shellfish. Now, really, shellfish is really just a what, y'all? It's really just a, and y'all can talk with me tonight. I asked questions on the second night. You're welcome, Calicia. I ask questions. Yep, Polly said it right there. It's really just a lean protein. So shellfish is really just a lean protein. It just got pulled off from that category. Thank you, Wendy. It got pulled off that category because of biblical reasons and medical reasons. Some people don't eat shellfish. So if you don't eat shellfish, then you don't even have to worry about any category 7s. You just scratch them off your list. We don't have to eat anything we don't like on Planet Shibboleth. That's a good thing, okay? All right, 2 to 8 ounces again. There's our suggested amount. Crab, but not imitation crab, because I mean, you might can find some, just look it up in the food library, but a lot of imitation crab has fillers in it, and the fillers aren't great for weight loss. Lobster, shrimp, scallops, oysters, mussels, clams, and so forth. So remember, all fish is in your just your regular category 1 lean protein. All the other critters that live in water are go right here in shellfish, even if they don't have a shell, like octopus doesn't have a shell, but it would just be there too. All right, so we can use our oil. Now, this is often where people use that ghee butter, maybe to dip some crab legs or a lobster tail or make a shrimp scampi. This is where that ghee butter flavor will come in handy. And then you can have the right condiments on there, and you can have an excellent fat burning meal. We're going to scroll down again, and you can see all we're doing is we're putting shellfish with a fibrous carb. So a category 7 with a category 2, cooked up in the right oil, doctored up with the right condiments, and you have an excellent fat burning meal. All right, now we have a brand new category, category 4, protein plus fat. It says 2 to 6 ounces. Well, the other said 2 to 8 ounces. And I want you to know why there's a fewer ounces here, because in 1 gram of protein, there's 4 calories, and in 1 gram of fat, there's 9. So you're getting a few more calories here, so you can back it off on the ounces just a little bit because you're still getting the same amount of calories. Whole eggs are here, all cuts of steak, pork ribs, beef ribs, pulled pork, beef brisket, 93% lean up to 95.9% lean ground meat, turkey kielbasa, as long as no more than 50% of the calories come from fat. And that's simply just, you just look at the back of the label at some turkey kielbasa, and as long as no more than 50% of the calories are coming from fat, then you can do that. How do you figure that out? I've really never talked about this formula, but now that Polly mentioned the word formula, it's on my mind. I do know this one. You take the calories from fat, because the label will tell you that. The calories from fat are, and then if it, no, take the fat grams. So if it says that there's 9 fat grams in there, how many calories are in 1 gram? 9. So 9 times 9 would be 81. Then that item itself would need to be the total calories, and that would need to be 162 or more for that to work. So, but honestly, I never even used any of these formulas in the beginning. I just went to the food library, and if that particular brand, that particular item was approved, I just used it. I never tried to figure all that out in the store myself. But now that Polly mentioned formula, I thought I do know that other formula for that. 93% lean up to 95.9% lean is another leanness of ground meat. Again, that can be beef, chicken, turkey, but if it is less than, this is important, y'all, if it is less than 93% lean, awesome, Heidi, good. I'm glad that was helpful. 90, if it's 93, if it's less than 93% lean, it is not approved for a perfect day. Because what they do on this ground meat, it's really a processed meat. It's not like a steak, okay, that's just the meat that came from the animal. This is ground meat. And what they've done, if it's less than 93% lean, they've taken a whole bunch of fat and added a little bit of meat to it. And then they market it as a certain leanness. It's really not. Okay, so if it's less than 93% lean, that would be a holiday. All right, so we're going to go over here, and now it's going to show you that we have category 2 fibrous carbs. You simply pick something from category 4, eat it with something from category 2, and doctor it up with the right condiments. Now, I'm going to say a few things. One, you can eat category 4 by itself. If you just want to make yourself scrambled eggs, that's fine. You can eat category 4 by itself. But if you want to combine it with something, you need to pick something from category 2. All right. Now, a column is now missing. There's a column that was right before the condiments on all the other ones we've already gone over tonight. What column is missing here? I got you, Polly. Yep. And me either, because I feel like I need to write it down. Yeah. Veranda, Kim, Trina. Yeah, that's right. The oils are missing. Because guess what? There's already fat. We don't need to add more fat to it. So really, we probably could put the column here and just put 0 calorie cooking spray or water or something else in there. Hey, because you can use any of those other things. You just don't need to add more fat to it. All right, hope that makes sense. Okay, we're going to come down. We've got another category, category 6, superfood. Now, last night I said that a food qualifies to be a superfood because it's got what? It's got all 4 what? Thank you, Calicia. Thank you. It's got all 4 something in it. Yep, all 4 macronutrients. Awesome, Polly. Yes. So in a superfood, there's water, which we consider a macronutrient on planet Shibboleth, and it's a 0 calorie macronutrient too. There's protein, there's fat, and there's carbs. Superfood has all of that in there. And so here's some items that are in superfoods: pintos, black beans, red beans, soybeans. Really, it's most of your darker colored beans there and a few lighter colored ones. Peanut butter, nuts, seeds, avocado. That's where all of those things are, okay? So that's category 6, superfood. You can eat that by itself. It kind of handles itself because it's got all 4 macronutrients in there, okay? And you'll see that next to these items, the first 4 items, it says a cup to 1.5 cups. That's if you're eating it alone. That's if you're eating it by itself, okay? So you can eat category 6 by itself. You can doctor it up, and you would have a great fat-burning meal. Now, if you'll notice, do you see how there's a plus sign there? And there's a plus sign here. That just means eating it with that other column, category, I mean. But look right here. Do you see this flame behind these plus signs? That simply means that these are excellent for fat burning. These down here, these are great for fat burning. It shows the other ones are just a little bit more excellent for fat burning. And I just like to make sure that you're aware of that little nuance. But all of it's going to be good for fat burning because it's going to be different than what we were doing before we found Shibboleth. All right, now we have our superfood here, and we're eating it with fibrous carbs. Okay, so this is superfood and fibrous carbs together. Travis says this is where you get your beans and greens, if you like beans and greens, okay? Now, when you're doing a superfood combined with another thing, you're gonna have to back off of that 1 cup to 1.5 cups because you still want it to fit underneath your hands, okay? So you're gonna put your superfood under this hand and your fibrous carb underneath that hand, and that's going to measure it. And then you could doctor it up with some condiments. Well, while we're here on this one, I just want to say, does anybody like peanut butter and jelly? Anybody? Good. Okay, I got some folks that like peanut butter and jelly. Connie, Jean, Trina, Kim. Awesome. Yes. CC. Okay, CC likes just the peanut butter, not necessarily the jelly. Wendy. Yep. Okay. This is where you find a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Let me explain this. Look, peanut butter. It's a superfood. Now, you're not going to want to use any peanut butter that has hydrogenated vegetable oil in it. That wouldn't be approved, okay? But all your natural peanut butters are approved. There's a lot of approved peanut butter, but if it's got hydrogenated vegetable oil in it, no. So you got your peanut butter right here. And we don't have it listed right here, but we have over 60 approved bread items. So you get your loaf bread. If a bread qualifies to be a category 2 fibrous carb, all that means to you is that bread has enough fiber in it to break down in your body more like a green bean. I want to explain that you don't need to know the formulas for these things. You just need to use the food library. The food library is where it's at. I use that food library like nobody's business. I love a good set of encyclopedias. Who remembers encyclopedias from when they were a kid? I used to just go grab the encyclopedias and read them and look at them. Yeah, Polly, we like those encyclopedias. The food library is like your encyclopedia on food. Go there, read what category, what the serving amount is, and the description, how you can use it. And this is how you're going to learn all of the new things that you put into play. So a bread that's a category 2 just breaks down in your body more like a green bean than a bread. So you get your right bread. And then if you like jelly, you can use jelly, sugar-free jelly, as a condiment. If you don't like sugar-free products, you could use good jam, which is sweetened with stevia. So there's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. While we're talking about sandwiches, I'm going to scroll back up and I'm going to go to this category right here. Category 1 and Category 2. This is where you find a grilled cheese sandwich. Now, personally, I like a grilled turkey and cheese sandwich. So what I do is I take 2 slices of Borden fat-free cheese. It's not listed right here, but Borden fat-free cheese can be used as a condiment, but it's also a Category 1. A lot of our things, they depend on how you're using them, all right? So I would use this as Category 1. I would throw in some turkey breast deli meat, take some approved bread, take some ghee butter, butter it up on the sides of the bread, let it toast, get it all nice and warm, and you've got a grilled turkey and cheese. If you don't need the turkey, you actually can up your amount of cheese slices in there to get enough protein for that. So this is where a simple sandwich is right here. Turkey, bacon, and cheese. Yeah, Polly says a turkey, bacon, and cheese sandwich. She likes that. We make lots of yummy things on Shibboleth that we would have never thought about eating before. All right, so now we've come to a new category. Ding, 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 ding. Category 3. We want to train our mind to say, whoops, Category 3 energy carb. I can eat them, but I got to be more careful with those. I need to combine those with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. Now, in this example, it's really just putting it with a Category 1, but remember, you can use Category 7 as well because they're both lean proteins. Category 3 is an energy carb. In weight loss mode, a quarter of a cup is really best to stick at a quarter, okay? Once you get to maintenance, you could go up to half a cup if you want to try that, but a quarter cup is best in weight loss mode. All potatoes are here. Oatmeal, the steel cut oats, the Quaker fiber and protein oatmeal, long grain brown rice. White rice is not approved. Most lighter colored beans. There's a few lighter colored beans that are superfoods. This is why it's very important to look up the foods that you like and see what category they're in and learn that. All peas are here, tomato, onion, carrots, whole wheat pasta, and whole grain pasta. Now, I like to talk about this pasta because even though whole wheat pasta and whole grain pasta work, you wouldn't want to go more than a quarter of a cup, all right? And with that being said, you might want a little bit more pasta with some things. And if you just choose a better pasta, you can have a little bit more. So there are the fiber gourmet pasta that we sell in our store. Guess what it is? It's a Category 2 pasta. And it looks and tastes exactly like other pasta. Everybody thinks it's the same, okay? But it's made with more fiber, and that's why it works. So it's a Category 2 pasta. Wouldn't you rather have a Category 2 pasta than a Category 3 pasta? I would. And then there's the carbonara pasta. The carbonara pasta is actually a Category 1, 2, and 3. Now, what that means to you when something is a Category 1, 2, and 3, it means that it has lean protein in it, it's got fibrous carbs in it, and it's got energy carbs in it. There's also another pasta out there called the Explore Cuisine pasta. Now, not all of them are just 1s and 2s, okay? Some of them have a 3 in it too, but the Explore Cuisine pasta, most of them are a Category 1 and 2 together, which is really great. Now let's do, and Polly's telling me spaghetti squash is good as pasta as well. Okay, so think about this. Let's do a little application here. If you are wanting some meat with your pasta, well, if you're a vegan, hey Chris, I'm glad you're here. If you're vegan, just know that if you just wanted to eat the carbonara pasta, that would be fine. It's got 1, 2, and 3 in it, and you wouldn't need any meat. And if you just wanted to eat the Explore Cuisine pasta that was 1 and 2, that's fine too. You could just find a sauce that worked, and you wouldn't even have to eat that if you're vegan or vegetarian. And quinoa is a Category 3, Calicia. Yes. And so, well, there's my dog. Let me let her out. So let's do a little application. If you want meat with the pasta and you have pasta that's a category 3, that let's say that's carbonara pasta that's got a category 3 in it, where would you pull your meat from? Where would your meat sources come from? Now remember, carbonara has got category 1, 2, and 3 all in the pasta together. Where could you pull the meat from if you're having carbonara pasta? If you want meat. You're welcome, Calicia. You're welcome. Yeah, you're going to love that vegan and vegetarian filter for all those little categories. Okay, Trina says it can come from category 1 for sure, but where else could it come from? If you like that other category. Yeah, Sheila, and CC, yes. So, yeah, your meat for a category for a 1, 2, and 3, if you're having the carbonara pasta, could come from, yes, thanks everybody, Connie and Trina too. It could come from the lean protein category or that shellfish category, which is really just a lean protein. But where would you not pull your meat from if you're eating the carbonara pasta that's got the category 1, 2, and 3? Where would you not pull that meat from? 4. That's right, Sheila. You would not pull it from the 4. Awesome, Connie. Thank you. Yeah, because if there's an energy carb in it, you don't want to eat it with a protein plus fat because the energy carb, even approved ones, they elevate your blood sugar. Your pancreas secretes insulin to deal with that blood sugar elevation, and you just don't want to have any fat in your system at the same time as that. And so we just wouldn't eat that with a category 4. But if you're eating that Explore Cuisine pasta that's got category 1 and 2, it's a category 1 and 2 fibers, carb, and a lean protein, then you can pull your meat source if you want meat from anywhere. It would be fine because there is no energy carb property in that. So that's just the application question that you learn from knowing what you don't do together. So category 4, protein plus fat, we don't eat that with energy carbs, fruit, or superfoods. So you just got to know that. And it's not hard to learn that. Carrots, once they are cooked, are a energy carb. But if you just want a little palmful of the little baby carrots that are raw, then you can eat those as a freebie in a moment of weakness. Onion and tomato. If you're having a 1/4 cup or more of onion and tomato, you should call that an energy carb. But if you were just doing a thin little slice of onion or a thin little slice of tomato, maybe on top of a burger, you could call that a condiment. But if you're having a 1/4 cup or more, call it an energy carb so that you don't eat it with a protein plus fat. You would make sure that you had a lean protein in there. Okay, what about shredded in a salad? Carrots. If I think they will be okay if it's just a few cc, a few, and obviously they'd be raw, but just a few, because I would still then at that point, CC, want to make sure that I didn't have a protein plus fat with it. Okay. Just consider it a condiment, but it would just be a few. Don't make that be like your whole salad. Okay. Make it just be for color and just a little bit. All right. Just want to be careful with them. I want to make sure that you get the results that you want when you're in weight loss mode. And then you got your peas and all of that other stuff. Okay, so let's say that you'd like to have some field peas. Well, your field peas, they're going to be sitting about right there. Could do about a 1/4 of a cup, and they will see that. No lean protein with fat with it. You can do lean protein with it, but you don't want to do protein with fat with carrots. Yeah. I mean, if it's just a smidge, it's not going to hurt you, especially since they're raw, but I'm saying smidge, okay? See, salads are really funny animal because people want to go throwing everything on the salad, and that's where sometimes the combination of it doesn't work just right. Um, and then they want to throw all these dressings on there, and then it takes a salad that was really quite healthy, and then it throws a bunch of condiment calories on there. That's why a lot of 0-calorie dressings are good for your salads and stuff. Okay, field peas, about a 1/4 of a cup. They'll sit right there. You must eat them with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So let's say we're going to put some turkey breast right here. We're going to have some green beans right here. the field peas, they are going to elevate your blood sugar, but they're approved. Okay. They're approved. They are going to elevate your blood sugar though. They're not approved to eat alone. They are approved to eat with these other two things. And then if you have the turkey breast, the protein in the turkey breast and the fiber in the green beans are going to neutralize the insulin release that came from the the peas. Okay, because you eat the peas, blood sugar elevates, pancreas secretes insulin, and you got to neutralize that insulin. We're going to neutralize it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. You controlled insulin all within the eating of that meal. You use food to be your medicine, which is awesome. Sheila says, where does boar's head hot dog fit? I'd have to look it up to be for sure, Sheila. We can do that in the end, okay? And so right here, what column do you not see for sure? What column is not right here? That column that was right before the condiments on all the ones above. Thank you, Shirley and Chris. Thank y'all for answering those questions earlier. I see all of that. Thank you. Yeah, the oils, they're not going to be there. Thank you, Veranda and Wendy. They're not going to be there because if you eat those field peas and you've used some oils, it's going to capture it. So we don't use oils with that because there's no oils. I mean, there's no fat in field peas. There's no fat in fibers, carbs, and there's hard. I mean, if there's any in lean protein, it's just negligible and it's not enough to be captured. But we don't need to go adding it. Okay, so that's where that comes from. Let's look at category 5, fruit. All fruit is in fruit. Now remember, fruit could also be called an antioxidant carb. So if you see that anywhere, just know that antioxidant carb. Berries, apples, oranges, and grapefruit are your best choices. And then those other ones are okay as well. All fruit is approved, but your berries, apples, oranges, and grapefruit are the lowest on the glycemic index, which means the sugar content of them. And so just kind of keep that in mind. If you want to eat fruit in weight loss mode, it must be eaten. No, I would buy half a cup CC of watermelon. I'll tell you what we'll do in the end is we'll look that up too. I don't trust any bit of information unless I have looked it up in the food library. So we'll look that one up too because I don't remember. So in weight loss mode, if you want to eat fruit, it must be eaten with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. Now, one of the differences between weight loss mode and maintenance mode, because see, Shibboleth, y'all need to get this down. This is the way that we should be eating anyway. This is the way we should have been eating from, learning to eat all along, but we didn't. So now we're learning it. But it's got to be what we do for the rest of our life to keep our results. All right. But you're going to learn to love it. You will. I do. It's awesome. And once you get to maintenance, if you'd like to have a serving of fruit as a snack by itself, you can do that in maintenance. But keep in mind, weight loss mode and maintenance mode are two different situations, totally different situations. In maintenance, we can handle just a little bit of increase in blood sugar because we don't have all this excess body weight to get off of us. Okay. So in weight loss mode, it must be combined properly. So let's just say that you want to have a little small orange. You're going to make yourself a lunch and you're going to have a little small orange in there. Maybe you take some chicken breast, deli meat chicken breast or turkey breast. And then let's just say that you take a category 2 Olay Extreme Wellness high fiber tortilla that tastes like a tortilla. And you put that together. That's a category 1 and 2. Maybe you also take a little wedge of the Laughing Cow cheese and spread that all inside of your tortilla. And I use that as to give me a little bit of moisture, like people like for mayonnaise to do, and it'll give you a little cheese flavor too. So I do that, and then that would be a great brown bag lunch. Be very, very nice lunch. So that would be a lunch that would control insulin because the fructose in the orange would elevate your blood sugar. The pancreas is going to secrete insulin, but the deli meat that you chose in the wrap and the proper tortilla, a category 2 tortilla, would all neutralize that. And again, there's not going to be oils here, just like the other above. All right, so before we move into some of these other things, and before I forget, I am going to go over and look up the boar's head hot dog and the watermelon real quick. Okay, I've popped over into the website. I'm going into the food library. And right here in the search, I'm just going to type in boar, see what it pulls up. It's going to generate a list. And Calissa on Facebook, you still with me? I hope so. Hey, Christine. If you're still with me, Carissa, Calissa, see, there's the vegan button and there's the vegetarian button. You can use these filters right here, okay? All right, boar's head. We got all kinds of boar's head things here. Okay, I don't specifically see the boar's head hot dog. I don't see the boar's head hot dog. So what I would do for that boar's head hot dog is I would look at the back of it. If no more than 20% of the calories come from fat, you can eat it as a lean protein. If no more than 50% of the calories come from fat, then you could eat it if it's between 21 and 50% fat from calories from fat, you call that a protein plus fat. But what I would do to keep it safe, Sheila, is I would take a picture of the front of the item and the back of the item, and I would post it in the Shibboleth Fixed It group. And our food guru, Kim Shibboleth, will have a look for you. And if it works, she adds it to the food library so that other people can enjoy it as well. And just to make sure I haven't missed out on anything, and I'm going to type in hot dog. Do you see how I'm doing things two ways? Sometimes, you're welcome, Sheila. Sometimes you have to look things up a couple of ways. So if you're specifically looking for a hot dog, Sheila, maybe you don't go for the boar's head one. You can just type in hot dog and you got all these options. See, I like these Applegate Naturals. Now they're category 4 protein plus fats, but I like them. So I don't see the boar's head here either. So take a picture of the front of the item and the back of the item and then post it in that group. Or simply use that little formula I gave you, and that'll work. Okay, Polly says 1 cup of watermelon with a category 1 and 2 meal, or a 1/4 cup as a condiment. Okay, so great question. CC says, what do the numbers in the blue box mean? Well, want to let you know, we go over these numbers several times in our coming up week. So make sure that y'all join me for all of the other webinars, because we only have 8 minutes left tonight, but I'm going to explain it real quick. This means this is the weight loss meter. Do y'all see right here where it says weight loss meter? And it has a -3 and that little ball. It's got that little ball and a +3. So 0 right in the center, not going to help you, not going to hurt you. Negative numbers are better for weight loss. Positive numbers are really, they're not going to take you out of EFB, which is efficient fat burning, if you do that, but it's better for maintenance typically. So what I like to do is we just pulled up hot dog. So if I want to see what hot dogs are the best of the best for hot dogs, let me go down and create a range of -3, -1, and then I hit set. And it's going to filter out all the hot dogs that are 0 and above on the weight loss meter. So this would make your list smaller. This Johnsonville turkey cheddar smoked sausage, by the way, is delicious. I had one for dinner tonight. So this would make your list smaller too. You know how it's just easier to look at lists that are a little bit smaller in the beginning? That actually gives you the best of the best and gives you a smaller list that is not as overwhelming. So that's really just the weight loss meter. The more negative the number. It's kind of like playing golf. The lower the score, the better type thing. And then let me go, Polly, thank you for putting that in about the watermelon. I am going to look it up, just show, to show CC what it looks like. Okay, we're going to put in watermelon. There's watermelon. It's a +1 on the weight loss meter. It's fruit. So just what Polly is saying, this is what Polly says, up to 1 cup as part of your meal. So if you were eating that as a category 5, you could have up to 1 cup with a quarter with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. You have to have it with both. Or you could do half a cup as a condiment, half a cup as a condiment, not half, quarter. I don't know where I was getting that half from. Quarter of a cup as a condiment. And then kind of come down here and read if it has any description. So thank you, Polly, for your help. And that's how y'all look that information up. Okay, so we're going to go over some more things that will work that aren't necessarily in those combination charts. Now, just to let you know, there's more combinations. It's just that in an hour's time, we don't have time to go over all of them, but you can see where we're going. If anybody is still confused about what this means, please tell me so I can know that and help you. Okay, but let's look at some breads. Category 2 breads. Less is always best in bread. Please don't do more than 100 calories of bread in a meal. It's too much. Okay, you won't see the results that you want. La Tortilla Factory 50-calorie tortilla, Olay Extreme Wellness high fiber tortilla, Healthy Life bread, Bran Crisp bread, which is not really a bread. When we say bread, we often think of a softer thing. This is a cracker. There's pumpkin seed, there's sunflower seed, and there's other flavors, and they're good. Healthy Life hot dog buns and the Thomas Light 100-calorie English muffins. And there's a Nature's Own Keto Life bread that it works too. But the reason I'm mentioning that one is because it's a good example. There's also Nature's Own hot dog buns and hamburger buns. Well, those are category 3 energy carbs. They're approved as category 3 energy carbs. You just want to make sure that you don't have any protein plus fat, fruit, or superfoods with those, right? Because they're an energy carb. But if you need a bun or want a bun, come over here and pick yourself up a Healthy Life hot dog bun or hamburger bun. It's a category 2. It's got more fiber in it. But that Nature's Own Keto Life is a category 2 as well. The reason I was kind of explaining that is just because something says Nature's Own on it, and you find that in a fibrous carb category doesn't mean that all their products are. Okay, so each product is looked up individually for you to know how to use it. Approved sweeteners: stevia, Splenda, monk fruit, xylitol. Actually, anything with 0 calories in it works fine. Approved beverages. Obviously, our water is very important. At least 64 ounces, be shooting for a gallon. Nothing takes the place of drinking your water. Okay, but you can use some other beverages. 0 calorie beverages of any type, unsweet or approved tea, and you can do coffee with up to 15 calories of approved sweetener. Cheese. Now, all of these cheeses can be used up to 50 calories worth of condiments, but please know that these cheeses are also in their own category. All of the fat-free cheeses are a category 1 lean protein. This little Cabot extra light cheese right here, it's a category 4 protein plus fat. Your 2% American singles are category 4 protein plus fat. The Sargento reduced fat cheese is a category 4 protein plus fat. So you just want to be aware of which one you're buying. This protein milk is very important to understand. So it's fat-free Fairlife milk or Kroger Carb Master milk. These milks have no fat in them, and they're also fortified with protein. It's very important to understand that. If you're not a milk drinker, no big deal. That's fine. You don't have to be a milk drinker. But see, our lifestyle, we're trying to teach people. Most people want to still want what they want, right? So we've got to figure out how to make that kind of stuff work for us. So lean protein milk. If you're just doing a cup of milk, you can have that as a component of a meal. You can actually count that as a lean protein with a meal. Let's say that you want that. Remember up in the category 3 where I mentioned the fiber and protein oatmeal, the Quaker fiber and protein oatmeal? That is actually a category 2 and 3 oatmeal. So if you just drank a glass of milk with that, you'd have your 1, 2, and 3. It would all work. But this all happens by you playing in that food library and looking and seeing what works together. And then if you just wanted a big old glass of milk as you're going out the door in the morning, you could do 16 ounces of that protein milk and that would work fine. Now, We're going to talk about cereals in just a second. I'm going to pop back up and talk about this other milk. Breadings and flours. You can lightly bread things using coconut flour, carb quick flour, Bob's TVP, which is a textured vegetable protein, and almond flour. All of those work. They're actually all category 2, fibrous carbs. Carb quick, that's that thing I mentioned in the beginning that's kind of like a really great staple to have in your pantry. If you've got flour in your pantry now, or if you have Bisquick in your pantry now, then you might want to get yourself some Carb Quick, because that's what we're going to use in there. Yes, CC, I'm going to show y'all where to find it in just a second. And so you're going to want to have some Carb Quick in the pantry, because one day when you're playing around and you're looking in the food library, in the recipe library, and it says that something needs Carb Quick, you're going to want to already have it. Okay. That's why if you go over into the myshibboleth.com/shop and pick up the recipe starter kit, you'll have the MCT oil, the Carb Quick, and the ghee butter. And ghee butter, by the way, does not need to be stored in the refrigerator, even though it says it on most jars, but it doesn't need to be stored in the refrigerator, because once you store it in the refrigerator, it becomes hard as a rock and it's very difficult to get into it. I made that mistake in a video one day and people were just laughing at me. And then everybody said, you don't have to keep it in the fridge. You don't have to keep it in the fridge. All these comments. I was like, cool, okay. But I was taking my spoon and I was having like across the top of it just to get some out. It was hilarious. Okay, cereal. Now, just want to say that most cereal is not the best for weight loss. Most cereals are typically a 0 on the weight loss meter. Coconut oil too. You don't need to store that in the fridge either. Kashi Go Lean Original, K's Natural Cereal, and High-Low Nutritious Living. All of those things, those are just some simple cereals to get started with. I'm going to pop over and show cereals real quick, and then I'm going to talk about that milk. Restaurants. I'm not going to read these restaurants. What you want to be aware of about restaurants is go on into the restaurant guide. Now, the restaurant guide opens up to you after you've passed the test in lap 2 of fast track. It's the bottom task on lap 2 of fast track. See, you want to go through lap 1 and lap 2, pass the test, and then everything is opened up for you so that you can complete the rest of the laps. Okay. But go into the restaurant guide. By the way, in the beginning, if you haven't passed the test, you still have some foods in the food library, recipe library, and restaurant guide. It's just a smaller list. You're going to get the full ones once you pass that test. All right. So go into the restaurant guide, go to the restaurants that you frequent the most often, and then scroll through and see what they say to order. But the absolute most important thing to do is to click on it and see how to order it. We don't leave anything to chance. We tell you exactly how to order it. Like when I show you where to find this little template tonight, if you just clicked right here on Chick-fil-A, it will take you there too. So if you see some things and then it tells you specifically how to order it, okay? Once you've done all of these things, you are going to know what to do everywhere you go, and this will be your new lifestyle. I'm telling you, I've been doing it now for over 2 years, and it just gets easier and easier. It becomes who I am and what I do. It's great. All right, so make sure that you've looked up restaurants. And then in the new member fast track group on Facebook, I've got a link to my top 10 favorite meal replacements. You're going to want to have some of those too. And I think it's I can't remember what night, but one night this week we're going to be talking about freebies, extras, snacks, and meal replacements. So you're going to want to be there for that. All right, so I'm going to go back to that food library real quick. I want to show you something in the food library. So over here on the side, it says categories. They're also listed here in the center, but I come over down here. Do you see where it says phase 1 cereal and phase 2 cereal? Phase 1 cereal is going to be better for weight loss. Phase 2 cereal is really best for kind of maintenance or just a treat on a day that you just want to have something but still remain in EFB. But there's something very important about this. Phase 1 cereal. Bye, Polly. Phase 1 cereal you can have with any approved milk, even unsweetened almond milk. Okay, but that's a category 4 protein plus fat. So what that means to you is these cereals are very, very well made. Phase 2, see where there's phase 2 frozen meals and phase 2 soups? All phase 2 means please know that there is no reason to go, yay, I'm in phase two. Okay, because phase two is really just opening up the food library to you. And yes, most people want more variety, all right? But we got to learn how to take the whole foods and stuff and learn it too. Because if you don't understand the concept of putting whole foods together, you might not understand the concept of expansion, all right, and more variety. So let's click on this phase two cereal and you'll see what I'm talking about, that we're not going to the best of the best cereal. It's still going to be the best of what you have a choice of. It still works. But if you are using phase two cereal, this is important. You must have it with one of those lean protein milks, because even the best cereal is starchy and you need to be able to offset it with the protein, and then you need to have no fat in it to be collected. So that is why we would do that with that. Look, Captain Crunch. You got to know that Captain Crunch isn't like the best of the best of something, but it still works as a phase two. So phase two just means that we're giving you more variety. All right. That's all that means. And I think I was going to show something else. Oh, yeah. I want to show you where to find that little template that I used. I'm going to look for it in dashboard, fast track. So see lap two? I hope that y'all been working on lap one and lap two, because tomorrow night we're focused on lap three. Because lap one and lap two is printing out some documents that you need, and lap two is really some housekeeping type stuff that'll get your account all set up straight. But right here, see where it says simple food combining website link? That's what I used tonight. So you can just click right there, and there you'll be. Also, if you've missed any webinars, they're all going to be right here. See where it says watch the daily fast track webinars? There are 7. We'd like for you to participate live. That's best, because that's best for learning. But if you're unable to participate live, they are recorded for you. So if you have not watched last night's webinar, it's right there. When you click on a webinar, look down below the webinar and see if there's a blue box here, there's some materials. That PowerPoint that I used last night, it's right there. And you could go back. This actually would be important to have, because this gives you the basics, okay? And that's what you're trying to apply every day. Okay, let's see. What's going on? Phyllis, how do I log a day for 24-hour fast to my journal? Do I just put fast on all meals for today as of 6 p.m. tonight? It was, wow, Phyllis. First of all, wow, congratulations. That was awesome. And yeah, I would just put fast in there for that. Choose intermittent fasting as your type of day. And then if you do intermittent fasting, you really could just put in there, I didn't eat all day. You don't need to journal like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Just put, I fasted this one time. That'll be fine. All right. Well, I hope that y'all are registered for tomorrow night's webinar. Okay, because tomorrow night's webinar, we are going over a new member worksheet. We're making sure that you've got some favorites listed. You're welcome. And we're going to make some simple meals. If y'all want to go ahead and look at it, and you've already done lap 1 and lap 2, go ahead and have a look at lap 3. But if you haven't done all of 1 and 2, make sure that you do 1 and 2. And this is not, I don't mean to, well, okay, I'm going to say this. You're welcome. You're welcome, CC, Jean, and Wendy. You're welcome. I'm going to say that this is not a joke. What we are learning here is no joke. This is what is going to improve your health for the rest of your life. Treat it as the education that you always wished that you'd had, and see those fast track laps as homework. And if you were that person that didn't like homework, just know it doesn't matter whether I like it or not. I need it. I need to do it. And the fast track laps was built very methodically. So you do each little step and they kind of build on each other. So go ahead and try to have that test done in lap 2 tomorrow, so that tomorrow when we go over lap 3, you'll have your food libraries open to you. Okay. Let's see, Sheila, thank you. I'm an old member, but I like to come back and review. Awesome. Always learn something more. It's true, Sheila. We always get new information, or get the information that we knew reaffirmed. So that's excellent. All right. Well, y'all have a great night, and I will see y'all tomorrow night. And feel free to join me in the morning on Facebook for the Shibby Show on the public Facebook page. Thank you.